We are live. What's up, beasties? It's me. It's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome to Beast Friends Forever. I have a very special guest tonight, and that is my friend right here. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Triple B, what a pleasure to be on. I love the vibes, love the energy. I think I've been there from the start, and I'm like, this guy, man. I just love. He brings so much to BookTube, and it always so full of energy. And like you make so many damn videos, bro. What's up with that? Don't you ever get tired? Like, come on.
I do, man. I do. Sometimes I feel like, what the heck, man? I need to stop making so many videos, but then you just get that itch. I just got to do it again,
You just gotta do it.
Man. But yeah, I appreciate that, dude. Thank you. You have been there from the start. It's been awesome, dude. And yeah, we've you're somebody I consider a real friend because we've chatted quite a bit, and it's awesome, dude. I love seeing your channel too. Like, I think I got to watch it after this, but when I was on my phone, I saw something pop up where you had some spicy takes on Wind and Truth, it sounds like.
Yeah. I literally just put that video out, and right now I'm sitting here like sweating and nervous. Like, oh god, I'm gonna get canceled for this.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what you got, dude. Oh geez, that's
Did
gonna
you
be
read it yet?
No, I read I finally started reading Sanderson like probably a year ago, and I read Mistborn Era 1, then I read Elantris, Warbreaker, and then I just finished Way of Kings. So I'm starting on Words of Radiance. So I got a ways to go.
Yeah, that's cool, man. You got to savor the journey. There are such long books.
Yeah.
Like, take your time, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
I know there's so much stuff. All right, we got to say hi to some people in the chat here. So the first one here was Cinna. What's up, Cinna? She listened to yours on audio.
Yeah,
she liked it. Tim McKay's here. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Tim. How's it going?
Mr. Roro Surrey is here. What's up, sir?
Hello.
NA's here. What's up, NA? Thanks for being here, man. And then Chance Dillon stopping by. Cook some dinner. All right, man. I like it.
And
then he said he's ready for some more hot takes. Oh yeah.
I think he's already heard some. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Because yeah, you did a video or came on for a live with him and Alex.
Yep.
At Iskandria's channel, so that was cool. I loved watching that.
Yeah.
Those are cool guys too.
No, super cool. And they were very kind that they read my books in the first place, and then they said some nice things about them, which is cool. And I kind of believed them. Once I found out that they were going live, I was like, I want to be there to make sure you don't say anything mean, So
that's right. I need to be on there. Exactly. Man. Well, and then Aaron from Bibliotheory just popped in. Yes, you do. So
I need to read his book too. So
his book is so good too, man. You guys are both. All right, so we got Riven Earth. Wait, just stunning cover, gorgeous, and Sundered Moon. Ooh, so pretty. All right, so before we get into anything, how about I let you one more person just popped in. Want to say hi, Sarah Beth. Thanks for being here.
Hello.
Glad you're here. So just introduce yourself, talk a little about your book. Tell us what it's about in the author's own words, and then we'll dive into some questions I have for you.
Yeah, sounds good. So my name is Zammar. I wrote these two books, so it's a duology. Riven Earth is book 1, and Sundered Moon is book 2, and that completes the duology. So it's nice that it's a completed story that's out there. Essentially, this was a project where a while back, maybe in 2021, I just had this story pop into my head, and it kind of spawned from some research I was doing on history, where on occasion, I don't know if you're like this, like sometimes you just get interested in a random part of history and end up doing some deep dives. So I was doing that for Indian history, and there was an Indian king way back when. This is like around the time of Alexander, and his name was Ashoka the Great. And this guy, like he did some conquering, like typical king stuff. But then after he conquered some people, he realized that it was just a really bad time. Like, everyone had a bad time. A lot of people died. There was devastation. It was just, everything sucked. And he realized that, and he really internalized it, and he changed. Like, this is a story, right? We don't know how true it is, The
Right.
story is that he changed, and like he had so much regret for what he'd done that he decided to just change the way he lives. And he's the guy who spread Buddhism across the
Oh
Indian
yeah. Okay.
subcontinent. Yeah, so it was the story of just repentance, right? Repentance and like self-awareness and self-growth in a monarch. So that's kind of where the origin, the seed of the story started with that. Is I just had this picture of a king, and like he just had great regrets for like the mistakes he'd made and
Mhm.
like how he can grow from those. And that's where the seed of the story started, and then it all just started expanding from there. Like I started imagining like the other characters around him, like his wife, and
Mhm.
like how she deals with the struggles that he has, and like the other people who are running the kingdom, and like all of these other characters just slowly came to life in my head. And that's where the story started. So essentially what it is this is an alternate universe fantasy. So this is a world which has stopped turning, and on this world which has stopped turning, it's half of it is like blasted by a really hot sun, and the other half is like completely frozen. So life only survives in this narrow strip of land, which is very creative. They call it the sunset forest, right? So life basically only survives there, and in that forest, like mankind used to be enslaved in the past by these dryads, who are like tree witch creatures, and they have like earth magic. So mankind used to be enslaved by them until one dude named Isaiah, he found the forbidden secret of fire, and he brought that back to the forest, and he led a rebellion which brought the dryads down. And so our story starts like 12 years after that, and we follow Isaiah's son, and we follow like the next generation. Oh, I seem to have lost the camera.
I know. I was just gonna say, uh oh. I can still hear you. Oh, oh no. Well, oh, he's coming back. Maybe. I think he's back. Let's see.
Oh,
Hey.
I don't know what happened there.
Hey, it happens, man. If it happens, it's no big deal. This is chill. Well,
Yeah.
I'll wait for you if it happens. No big deal.
No, I appreciate that. So anyway, yeah, so basically our story starts like 12 years after that, and we follow like a very young kingdom, and they're experiencing a lot of budding, growing pains.
Mhm.
And we follow the leaders of this kingdom who have their own very powerful internal conflicts. And while they're also dealing with a lot of stuff going wrong, right? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of environmental themes in this book where
Yep.
the idea is like mankind, like sometimes we do things and we don't really know what we're doing, and we
Right.
mess things up and we don't realize it until it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of building on those themes. So I like to think that at the end it's a decent story.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I have not finished it yet, but I am almost done. So I've gotten through most of the book. I'm getting to the end. So
Yeah.
it's awesome, dude. Your prose is like beautiful,
Wow.
man. It's very like I feel like it's very flowery and pretty, but it's also not like so flowery and pretty that I confuse and don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like it's still very direct somehow, and I feel like I haven't read a lot of authors that have like that pretty prose, but also it keeps the story moving and you know what's going on, and it's I don't know, it's good. I really liked it a lot, dude. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I
No,
think you are doing what you should be doing, what you're meant to do, because it's
uh,
very good.
well, I super appreciate that. I try very hard to do good prose, and I never think that I'm good enough at it. So, it is one of those things where you're always learning and growing, but
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really cool too how you wove in like the accounts of Isaiah's like story in between like chapters and stuff. I really like that. What made you think to do that, and how did you decide on that? Like the way that you decided to do it.
Yeah, so essentially there are epigraphs in this book where they're like journal entries written by the prior king Isaiah, and this was like fully so the book, the journal that there are entries of is called Reflections, right? Which is a lot like meditations if you
Yeah.
think about it, right? So this was very much inspired by Marcus Aurelius and meditation. And the funny thing is like I haven't even read Meditations, so I'm not a stoic by any
Yeah.
stretch of imagination, but I just love the idea of like this king, like this really powerful dude, and every night he like sits down, he takes out
Right.
his journal and he gives himself a pep talk. He's like, come
Mhm.
on bro, you got this, right? And like he's just every night he's doing that, and then at some point some random dude steal his journal and they publish it, right? And
Yeah.
they embellish it and they change words, and
Yeah.
it becomes like unreliable in many ways. So I just really like that idea of like,
Yeah.
because of that, he becomes like this legendary figure, right? So that's where the inspiration came from, and I thought it was a really cool way to add some natural world building to the story, and also kind of work on some of those themes where, you know, like the son of Isaiah, one of his big challenges is that he's like always overshadowed by like the legendary
Right.
status of his
Yeah.
father. Right. So then like through this journal, you can kind of humanize his father and also kind of embellish that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good, man. Got a couple cool comments in here. I agree. Senna loved the cover from the beginning. I think everybody, like, that just is so eye-popping. We're going to talk about that cover in a minute.
Yeah.
But NA's loves the sound of it, the seed, the world building. Yes, you need to check it out for sure. And when you're talking about the parallels, Senna agreed. The parallels are brilliant, as do I. And yeah, I think that is a pretty good compliment.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Sure.
And Tim, I'm going to be reading your awesome book very soon too, I'm sure. I have no doubt I'll be saying the same thing to you, my friend. We got some more people popping in. Mike Molman's here. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. And Britton's here. What's up, Britton? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I just did a because I'm a big Superman DC fan. I mean, I love Marvel too, but the Superman trailer just dropped today. So I was just gonna watch it, and then I'm like, I should wait and then just do like a live reaction video and talk about it. So I just put one of those out. We'll see. I don't know. I've never done one of those before, but we'll see how it came out. So yeah, I think that was everybody that popped in. So, oh, okay. I don't know this first name, but Senna said I actually got more Bhagavad Gita than Aurelius.
Yeah, I think that's an Indian epic. I actually haven't read it, but that's awesome. You made that connection.
Well, there you go. That's cool. And yes, the Superman trailer looked really good. Are you into any of that stuff? Superhero stuff, comics, Marvel, DC, any of that?
Not really, not in particular. I mean, I think when I was young, I was kind of into it, but I haven't really kept up to date. I feel like I get dragged into like the very mainstream movies, which the true fans don't like, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I end up watching those ones, and because of that, I end up thinking like, this isn't really for me, even though I didn't go deep enough to find the good stuff, you know?
Right. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I guess we can keep going with the interview, even though you don't. Like,
I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. Keep writing more books. That's what I want you to do. Don't waste time watching things. Oh man. All right. So you talked a little bit about how the idea came to you and the research you were doing and stuff, but how did your writing journey go? Like, have you always wrote even from a young age? And then like, when did you decide, all right, I'm going to publish this? Did you try to go traditional? Did you just go right to self-pub? Like, how did that journey go for you?
Yeah. So I think like I think since I was very young, I used to have a compulsive need to tell stories. Like I would just make up stories on the spot when I was chatting with my brother and my cousins and whatever. So there was that. And then English was always my favorite subject. I just love written word. I love like the craft of writing, even though I'm an engineer by training, as it turned out. But so I've always done some sort of writing, and I did write like a literary fiction book a while back, but I never published it because it wasn't really that good. But I was like kind of just practice almost, right?
Yeah.
And then when it came time for these stories, it's like at a time when I was really getting back into reading fantasy, and I was super enthusiastic about it. I was passionate about it, and for me at least, what happens is like the compulsive nature of the story just kind of, it's like a seed which embeds itself in my head, and I can't get rid of it. Like I can't stop thinking about this stupid story. And it's like, in that sense, it's like writing is probably the most immersive story experience I've ever had, right? Like you talk about how you read a book and it's like a really immersive experience.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's like writing is that way, where like when I'm writing that, like I've never had an experience where I felt more like I was part of a story as I did when I was writing one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So then like with this story, like I'm telling you, man, it was so annoying. It was in my head. I couldn't stop daydreaming. I'm sitting in like meetings at work, and like they're all blabbing away, and I'm just like thinking about my characters. I'm like, oh yeah, then this happens, and I wonder if that happened. And so at some point, it's like I just had to like word vomit it out on paper.
Oh yeah.
And so I did that. And to be honest, I never once considered going trad pub, mostly because I just didn't have the patience for it. Like I thought,
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna send out like a billion query letters and just get rejected over and over. I don't have like the heart for that.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't have the patience to have
Yeah.
like the publishers come back to me and be like, oh, you need to edit your book down, like way whatever. You need to take this out,
Yeah.
take that out. So for me, it was like, it is what it is. I'm gonna throw it out there, and the great thing is like this community has been so kind and like the reception. I never expected to like I'm not like a particularly successful author, right? But it's like for a debut book, I think it's done
Heck
really
yeah.
well, and
I
like
agree.
I just never expected that to happen. But you know, the people in this community are so uplifting, and there's so many amazing folks that gave it a chance, like yourself,
Yeah.
like you know, like Sina, like Chance, all these people just they. You know, I hooked you guys with the cover. I don't think I don't know that. Like, I definitely hooked you guys with the cover. But the fact that you gave it a chance and then you know you continued reading it, like that means a lot to me. It means the absolute world.
Yeah, dude. No, we are happy to read it, and you definitely hooked us with the cover. But not just the cover in your writing, but then getting to know you, man, that hooked us even more. And that like I think that's the cool thing about this community is you get to know people like other content creators, authors. We all get to know each other, and sometimes like you want to read a book already because that like I remember seeing your book before I even talked to you once, and I was like, oh, that looks sweet, I want to read that. But then once I get to know you, then it like makes me want to read it even more just because you're an awesome dude. So some of that is because of you too, just being awesome. So it's not all just because of the cover. So talk to me about the cover, because these covers are freaking awesome. So how did that go for you? Finding like a cover artist. Did it have a different cover at first ever that you were gonna go with, and then you went with this instead? How did that process go?
So no, that didn't happen. If I was going to be 100% transparent about how this went about, so you know, Felix Ortiz is like probably the most well-known artist in South Pub and indie fantasy. So I messaged him and I was like, "Yo, man, can you make me cover art?" And he came back with a price. And when I saw the price, my eyes like I started crying, and I was like, "Oh." So I messaged him again. And I was like, hey, so do you know like anyone else that's kind of looking for work? Like, who would you suggest? Right? And Felix, super cool guy. He was like, hey, no problem at all. I got you. And he connected me to Andrew Molesky, who's guy from Russia.
Yeah.
And Andrew is just a top-notch artist. Like once I went to his art page, his art station, I think it was, and I saw his art, I was like, this is the guy. Like this is it. I gotta go with this guy. Like I knew it right off the bat. I just love his style. I love this like I think for a lot of people this is almost too dramatic, right? But like personally I love it where it's like over the top, illustrated, like very colorful. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like to me that's just like that's a classic fantasy cover, right? Like you can do like a pretty minimalist cover if you want, and that's fine.
Right.
But like come on, man, it's pretty badass.
Oh, it's badass, dude. It is. I think we need to see more covers where it's a whole image and landscape and stuff going on, a scene, you know, not just one little thing on a white cover or whatever. Like,
and it goes around all the way to the back.
I know the wraparound.
Yeah. And to be honest, I actually like the book 2 cover even more.
Oh personally. Yeah, the book 2 one is gorgeous, dude. Like I love it.
I know my camera sucks, but like the colors are super vivid.
Let me see it. I'll try to get mine a little closer. Yeah. I mean, it looks so good.
Yeah, and Andrew was just so awesome to work with. Like I essentially for book 1, I had like the particular scene in mind. Like when I wrote that scene, I was like, you know what, this would make a cool cover scene.
Oh right? Yeah.
So but then with book 2, I actually had no idea. I struggled. I was like, oh man, there's so many different scenes I could use here. And you know, book 2 has a lot of, I like to think like a lot of cool moments, but it was a bit harder to pick a scene. And so, you know, eventually I settled on this one, which I think it does a trick, right? It's not quite as dramatic as the first one.
Right, right.
Like, it's just badass, right?
Yeah, it's still awesome. Heck yeah. I agree, man. I love it. We got a couple more people popped in. Ryan Skeffington's here, another awesome author. And actually one of the first people I had on Beast Friends Forever. He says, I like people more than I like books. That helps. You're all pretty cool. I agree, my friend.
Ryan is cool too.
Awesome.
So
Ryan is, he takes a cool person to know cool people, exactly. Ryan. And yeah, Senna, you're going to have to, I know you only have audio, but you're going to have to just get in the books that have pretty covers just to have them.
Yeah. It's true. Just keep them away from the horses.
Yeah. We don't want that. We don't want them eating them or something. Oh, so, man, I had a question in my head when we were just talking. I'm like, don't forget to ask him that right when he's done. And now I already forgot.
How are you so handsome? How are you so good looking?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, I've always thought.
Yeah.
But that does make me think of something else. Now, I forget. Did you recently get married, or did you recently have an anniversary?
I think it was an anniversary. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I
got
remember
married
you posting
like 3 years ago.
a picture. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it must have been anniversary. So congrats on that. 3 years, you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, has she read the book?
She's read book 1. She's actually not a reader at all.
Yeah.
So it was like a proper struggle.
That's how it goes
to read book 1. Yeah.
That's pretty cool that she read it then if she's not a reader.
Yeah, she read book 1. She got angry at me about the ending. And then she still hasn't read book 2.
So no, I'm coming up to the ending. Am I going to get angry at you too?
I won't say anything.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me. Oh, sorry. Man, but now I'm a little more prepared then. Shoot. Oh, man. Well, that's awesome, dude. That's cool that she's supportive like that, because I've talked to some authors, not on here, but like off screen, and they'll talk about how their spouse hasn't read anything, isn't very supportive of it, So it's always great, I think, when a spouse is supportive in some way, shape, or form. It's very helpful.
It is, and like the thing is, writing is it's such an all-consuming thing. Like it takes a lot of time, right? It's a lot of time in the seat at the keyboard, and then sometimes it's very tiring too. It takes a lot of mental energy to just stare at a screen and like look at words over and over. So for her to like support me through that and put up with me and have patience, like it means the world. And like my first book is dedicated to her. The second book is dedicated to you guys. It's dedicated to everyone who gave it a chance. So
heck yeah. I love it. That's awesome, dude. Now, speaking of Cinna and audio books, how did the audio process go for you? Because I know that's a big deal sometimes for self-pub authors just starting off. Like, how did that process go? Was it a lot smoother than you thought? Harder than you thought? How'd it go?
Yeah, I mean, so for a while, I did not think that I would do audio because I was like, oh man, like I'm not gonna, like there's not gonna be enough interest in this book. Like no one cares enough for me to like invest that much money in it and stuff. But then I got so many messages and emails from people looking for it in audio, and I realized like even myself, I listen to so many more audiobooks than I do like physical reading, just because it's convenient with our lives. And I think audiobooks are so popular now that
for sure.
My objective from the start was I just want to share this story with as many people as possible. Like I'm probably not gonna make the money back, but that's fine. Like it's really not a big deal. I want people to have the opportunity to share their story. So yeah, like to that end, I posted my thing on ACX to look for auditions, and a bunch of people auditioned, but none of them was like the right person.
Yeah.
And so I was just looking at like what narrators and other indie authors have used, and I heard Jao Silva's Seeds of War, right? And his narration was done by Adriel Brand, and so I was listening to the samples, and I was like, this guy's really good. So I sought him out specifically, and I was like, hey, Adriel, do you want to do this? And he was completely willing to do it, and it was really interesting because like I'd never done this process before of like an audiobook, so. I had to like send in my manuscript, and at first I was so attached to it. I was like, this character has this kind of voice, and in this scene, like this is how the character's feeling. So you got to put inflections here and all that stuff. And it was like my baby, like in my head, the story was kind of vivid and real.
Oh yeah.
And so like sending it to the narrator, I was scared. I was like, oh man, he doesn't get it, like this.
I bet.
But then he sent me the samples back, and I was like, what, he nailed it, like even though it was different, right? Like like slightly different voice, slightly different inflections, but like he just brought it to life in such an awesome way. So I'm like super happy with the narration that he did. And I don't know if you've heard it at all, but
I need to. Because I do like to like immersive read sometimes, like listen while I read, or like I do a lot of audio if I'm driving or doing like housework and can't sit down and read. So I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's the most surreal thing to like listen to your words come to life in an audiobook.
Dude, I bet it's so cool.
Yeah, it is actually genuinely one of the coolest experiences. So I suggest authors do it just for that experience.
Yeah, just for that. Yeah, I bet, man. Oh, that's awesome, dude. So cool. Well, and I know Senna loved it, so I'm excited to check it out too. Ryan had a good question. He said, "How hard was formatting the novel and getting the publishing done after you wrote and edited it?"
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
how did formatting go?
yeah, I don't want to say it was easy, but it wasn't like the hardest
Well,
part of
that's
it,
good.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah, like I just used the software called Atticus. That's what I used.
Okay. Atticus.
Yeah, and it was fine. It was just a little bit tricky because I have some internal pictures in my book. Like
Yep.
obviously there's the maps, and then
Yep.
there's drawings as well
Yeah.
in them. So some of those were a little bit tricky, but
Mhm.
for the most part, I think it did okay. You just have to there's like internal art in the books as well.
Oh, it's so cool. I know. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a
So
nice book, dude. Like the whole presentation and package. Like you did a great job.
well, I really appreciate that because I'm not known for those things. I think like the indie authors have set the standard so high. Like
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
you see these indie books and it's like, whoa,
I
that's
know.
pretty wild. So
Right.
I was happy to do a little bit. I did what I
Yeah.
could.
Yeah. You did. You did.
Yeah.
You did it. Nicely done.
Yeah, like that book behind you, The Advent of Winter. I talk about a pretty book,
Oh, I
right?
know that. Wait, this way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's a pretty one. It is. They did a good job on that for sure. Oh,
Mhm.
I know I missed that Kickstarter when it came out, and I was so mad. So then when they said they had some left, I'm like, I gotta get it, even though it came from overseas, and I won't say how much I had to pay for shipping, but it was worth it. And I thought it was just gonna be like like more of a standard edition of it, but it had all the bells and whistles and all the signatures, and I was like, yeah, I was so
Nice.
pumped. You remember when you sent me Sundered Moon? Remember it was you were worried about your rap job because I opened it on camera for my book mail videos.
That's what I mean, man. Like I'm not a presentation guy. Like I was so embarrassed by that because I think it was like 6 layers of bubble wrap and like this
Hey, it
busted
got
ass
here
box.
in perfect, beautiful shape though. That's
Yeah,
all
and
that
then
matters.
you see my friends like Scott Palmer or whoever, these
Oh
other
yeah.
indie authors. They have such beautiful boxes with like these little like sachets of tea, and I'm like, oh man, I can't do that. I don't know.
It's just duct taped up, random stuff shoved in there. Hey, it's the book that matters, man.
Yeah.
uh, well, so we talked about the writing a little, but I am curious. You read a lot still too. So how do you find the time to balance your writing and reading and work and life and everything else? Because you still seem to read quite a good amount. So how does that go? Do you have to be very intentional, or do you find it easy to just kind of take the day as it comes and find time for both?
So the long and short of it is that it's extremely hard.
Yeah, I
So
bet.
like the thing with the writing is like when I was deep in it and
Mhm.
I was really deep into editing and deep into writing, then I found it very hard to read. And it wasn't just like a matter of what's it called? It wasn't just a matter of time, it was just a
Mhm.
matter of energy, right? Because
Oh
like
yeah,
you're sitting there staring at words for so long, and then
right.
the last thing you want to do is sit there and stare at words, right?
Exactly.
And then especially when you're reading, like I really struggled with physical reading while I was writing the books
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I just like the editor mind was like too wired up.
Yeah.
So even though it's someone else's book, like my head's going like, why are they phrasing it like that? Or it's
Right.
like, or it's becoming jealous, right? Like I could be reading a Robin Hobb book and I'm like, oh
Right.
God, I'm never gonna be like this. This sucks. so yeah, like that was hard. But the thing that saved me was audiobooks, to be honest, because like it's different enough. And like I could listen to audiobooks while I was at the gym or while
Mhm.
commuting or doing whatever else. So lots of audiobooks. Since I finished my books, I've been working on some other stuff, but I've been trying to like balance it a little bit better where I do physical reading every day now, like at least an hour of it. And that's something where
Nice.
I'm just trying to like it's a part of like recharging your creative juices and
Mhm.
like re-energizing yourself for writing as well as being able to read a lot of books and just admire the wordplay and the craft.
Nice. What are you reading right now? What's your
Uh,
current read?
yeah, so I just finished Wind and Truth,
Let's
which
say you
was
finished
that.
Wind and Truth.
Yeah, so that was the rant that I put up there.
So now you
And
need something that you're gonna love.
yeah. Well, I started Philip Chase's book too,
Oh,
The
nice.
Prophet of Idan.
Yep, I'm
So
starting that next week.
oh, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll be reading around the same time because I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
slow.
chat about it.
and you're pretty fast, so I think you'll get ahead of me.
I'm getting slower though. The older, or either the older I get or the busier I get. I don't know. My reading is not what it used to be. I don't know.
I don't think you're getting slower. I think you're just reading more books at the same time. Like that's
Probably.
the actual problem.
Like, I am really bad at that, man. I'm
like
really bad.
You read so many books, man.
It's I know. And I always think like, well, I'll read this book and then I'll read this novella and I'll read this short story class. It's all different, but really it's still words, and I should just focus on one thing, but I don't know. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
That's how I'm wired.
Yeah, so I know Sina saying there that she listened to Idan right before Riven, which is really cool, and it kind of makes me nervous because it's like I always tell people, if you're going to read my book, read a bad book first, right? So like it looks better for the comparison. So, but obviously, the Way of Idan is a great book, so that just makes me feel insecure. But I will say that was
she loved your book though, so
yeah, I mean, I will say that was a great audio narration. So for a while there, I was like, oh, I wanna listen to Alan's narration of it, well, book 2, but I also kind of don't want to wait. And if I wait, then I'll forget everything. So I just decided I'll do the physical read.
Yeah. That's good. So speaking of books, Ryan just said he's going to steal your advice. Read bad books first.
That's the life hack.
Life hack. I love it. So speaking of books, tell me about kind of your reading through your life journey. Like when you were little, did you love reading from the time you were young? Did you find it when you were older? And what are some of your favorite authors from the past that maybe inspired your own writing and creating this world that you created?
Yeah, so I mean, I think I was reading from a pretty young age. My Harry Potter was a big one. Like I'm definitely in that generation where it was like reading Harry Potter over and over and over and over again. And there was also, have you ever heard of the Animorphs?
Yeah, I remember Animorphs.
Yeah, nice. I used to read those over and over again too. When you're young, you don't have buying power, right? So it's like you just have this collection of books.
Whatever there is.
Those are the books you have. You're just going to read them over and over again. So, Animorphs, Artemis Fowl, like just these classic young people books from when we were young. So I read all of those. Once I got a bit older, I started reading a bit more literary fiction, but also started kind of slowing down the reading in general. It just got busy with other things. There was a phase where I got into A Song of Ice and Fire. So before the show came out, because I'm one of those people who's like, oh, they're making a show about this, I better read the books first.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I better read it first. Yep, I'm the same way.
So I mean, I read those books and it was like life changing. Like I just adore A Song of Ice and Fire. They're so freaking good. I still think they're some of the best books ever written. But
I agree. Anyway, same. Yeah.
Anyway, so then after that, busy with uni, and then it really was maybe like 2017-ish, even like not that long ago. Like about the time I graduated from uni, I got into Sanderson's Mistborn, right? And like doing that is what really, like so many other people, it seems like every other person read Mistborn, and that's what brought them back into reading fantasy. So it was the same thing for me. I read Mistborn, binged all of Sanderson's books, had a good time with them, and then I moved on. I found Joe Abercrombie, who is my favorite author.
Mine too.
Is he really?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. We could have some jam sessions about First Law then, and talk all about those books.
100%, dude. Like Abercrombie.
Oh yeah. Are you excited for The Devils?
You have no idea. I'm so hyped. It's like I can't think of any other book I'm excited for other than like Abercrombie stuff. But he just doesn't miss, right? Like he's just so consistently good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I read his stuff. I read Robin Hobb, huge Robin Hobb fan.
And starting her soon. I still haven't read it, but I'm starting the first one very soon. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I always say like my books are some strange mix between like Abercrombie, Hobb, and Sanderson, I think. So
yeah, that actually is. I can see that. You're exactly right. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, maybe not quite as cynical as
as Abercrombie, but you've got like some of the humor and stuff in there. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean that's most of the stuff, and then like more recently, I've just been trying to read as much stuff as I can. Like recently, I've gotten into GGK, like Guy Gabriel K, which is just gorgeous.
That's what I've heard. I haven't read any of his stuff yet, but I've
Yeah.
heard it's really good.
No,
Which one did you read from him?
So I've read A Brightness Long Ago and
Okay.
the duology, Sarantine Mosaic. So
Oh, yeah.
Sailing Sarantine and Lord of Emperors.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Chris, like, I always like my suggestion is if you're an author, you don't read GGK because it's one of those books that just makes you feel like crap, right?
Yeah.
So like avoid him at all costs.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time, it's so good that like, you want to read it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I've heard his prose is just nuts.
Yeah.
Timothy Wolf just popped in here. What's up, Timothy? Thanks for being here, Tim. Appreciate it. Can always feel a shift in electricity when both Tims arrive. So now both Tims are in here. I can just tell. I can feel it. Oh man. All right. So what other things inspired you? Like, do you you talked about Game of Thrones a little bit. So like, were there TV shows and movies that you've watched that inspired you? Do you play a lot of video games? Did that stuff kind of inspire you? What were some other things?
I played a lot of WoW when I was young, like World of
Okay.
Warcraft.
Nice.
Which I mean, I don't know. You can say a lot of things about it, but it's some pretty cool lore in there.
Dude.
Yeah,
Heck
right. So definitely got
That's
some
cool.
inspiration from that. It's hard to say, right? Because it's like your head just kind of becomes this
It's so full
mishmash
of
of
things,
like
yeah.
it's just full of all the random stuff you've consumed over your years.
Yeah.
Watched quite a bit of TV, but my favorite TV show is The West Wing. Have you ever heard of that one?
The West Wing?
Yeah, The West Wing.
I have not. I know what you're talking about, but I have not watched it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like a political drama, right? It's not exactly fantasy.
But I have heard it's good though.
Yeah, it's just like the quality of dialogue in that
Yeah.
show is just top notch. I absolutely adore it. So yeah, I mean, I like TV where they have good dialogue. I think that's like almost critically important, because when the characters are like you can actually see them, but they aren't, but they're talking like robots. Like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
So,
yeah, that's not so good. What about recently? Have you watched any shows recently that have been on streaming or anything? Any good shows you watched that you liked?
Yeah, dude, I recently watched Arcane seasons. Have you seen Arcane?
No, I want to though. I've heard so many good things. My son has watched it, and I'm like, and he loves it, so I gotta watch it.
Oh, dude,
you watched season 2?
Yeah. Okay, season 1 I thought was like some of the best TV I've seen in years. Like season 1 was so good.
Yeah.
Season 2 was not. I didn't like it as much. I think it was a lot more dramatic. A lot cooler to look at, but I feel like the storytelling was a little bit less grounded. However, that said, like it was still awesome. So definitely watch Arcane.
Yeah, I definitely will watch it. I think a lot of people love it too, and they said it's really good. Ryan said, "Justice for Echo or Eco? How do you say that?"
Echo. Yeah.
Echo. That's what I thought. Oh man. Well, now I'm gonna know something bad happens, Ryan. The second that I start watching it, and I see that character. Thanks a lot, Skeff. Oh man. Time. So that's good. Yeah, I definitely want to check that one out. So do you read any like manga or anything like that? Have you gotten into that stuff?
No. So I haven't read manga, I think, at all. I did watch a lot of anime when I was younger. And the thing is like, my family has a lot of manga readers. Oh, really? So like all of my cousins and my brothers, they're big manga fans. So I've kind of like osmosis a lot of it into me. It's just like from how they're talking and like what they're talking about. But at the same time, like when I was younger, I watched, like I've seen like 500, 600 episodes of One Piece just when I was young.
Oh, dang,
so it's like
that's
I caught up. I know, right? like I caught up to where the show was, and then I stopped watching. And then they just kept making new episodes. Now there's like another 600 episodes I haven't seen or whatever.
Oh, I know, it's insane.
Yeah, but it's been interesting, right? Because like I'm sitting here on the sidelines watching people like Philip Chase get into One Piece, and I'm like, I remember this stuff, you know?
Like this all is bringing back memories. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I know I never watched anime when I was younger, but getting into booktube and stuff and talking to people, and my son has really gotten into anime. So I watched Vinland Saga with him, and I'm like, this is pretty sweet. And then I love like first law and grimdark stuff. So then when people were talking about Berserk, I'm like, I gotta check that out. I love that. So yeah, there's such cool stuff. And I've started reading One Piece, but there's just so many things. So I don't know if I'll just watch it or if I'll keep reading it. I'm not sure. But
did you watch or read those, or like both of them? I guess.
I watched Vinland Saga, and I kind of want to continue the story by reading the other ones, but I haven't yet. And then I've only been reading Berserk. But now that I'm like a good chunk in, I kind of want to start watching it from the beginning now and kind of read one and then watch it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm interested in it, just because of all the hype around it. There's like it's a different medium, but that doesn't mean that the storytelling isn't strong and really good, right? Like, and anime is so good. As if you're looking for like fantasy inspiration, anime is a great place to go, because like there's some crazy stuff that happens in there, and very imaginative. So I would like to, but there's only so many hours in the day, man. I got to read books as well, right? So
I know. I don't know. There's no easy solution for that. You just got to make choices, I guess.
That's more well said.
Timothy's afraid to read Berserk. It is pretty brutal and dark. I will not lie, but it's good. But Timothy, I don't know. Have you seen any of his books? I'd have to. But some of his books have some pretty dark stuff in it, so I think you could handle it, Tim.
Nice. I don't know, man. Sometimes like you may surprise yourself with the dark stuff. Like it comes out of nowhere, right? Like you end up writing a scene and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know I had that in me.
Right? Jeez, what's wrong with me? I know. It's funny. Oh, EL just popped in. What's up, EL?
Hey, buddy.
Oh, I see. So you have been here, but you weren't able to say hello till now. Well, thanks for saying hi. Thanks for being here, man. He's awesome too.
All the amazing people show up to your chat, man. What's up with that?
I think the common denominator here is you, my friend. It's because you're on here. So they're like, they're like, oh, that Triple B's got another Beast Friends Forever. And then they're like, ooh, Zammar's on there? I'm in. That's what happened.
All right.
Oh man. So all right. So let's see. So what other hobbies do you have? We already talked about a million things that you do to fill your time, but what are some things that people might not know that you like to do? Like what's something kind of weird? Let's get crazy.
I ride motorcycles. Is that kind of weird?
That's not weird. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty cool, It's
that's
like a
really
badass
cool.
thing. Yeah. So just this summer I did like a motorcycle trip around the States. So I'm up here near Toronto, Canada. So that was pretty cool. It's like 3 weeks on the road,
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was amazing. Like you guys have such a beautiful country, Like I hope that you appreciate that. Like you just get out there and like see the nature in the States. It's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, man. I bet. Check this out. We were just talking about starting Way of Dan, and look who's here. Philip Chase.
Oh, Philip. I don't know if Philip's still there, but just so you know, this is what I'm currently reading. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. And I should say too that I just chatted with Philip a little bit today in comments, and I'm gonna have him on Beast Friends Forever down the road once I read his book, so that'll be fun.
Okay, can you ask him? I would love to have a one-on-one talk with Philip. I think he's too cool to chat with me. But if I could ask him one question, I would say, Philip, have you ever been mean to someone? And if not, why not?
That is a good question, because he is like the nicest dude.
I know, right? Sure. Like sometimes it's good to just let it out, though. You know?
Oh man. All right. So before I saw Philip's comment, I was thinking the same thing. A lot of people are commenting in here. So Ryan said crotch rocket or standard, and then Synod said what kind of motorcycle? Suzuki Boulevard.
That's a nice one. Yeah. I've got a touring bike, a sport touring bike. So it's a Yamaha Tracer. I don't know if people know what that one is.
I'm sure some people do.
Yeah, it's cool. Triple engine, 900cc. It's good stuff.
Man, nice. I've always wanted to get into that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm super like clumsy. Does that matter? Does it matter if you're clumsy? Can you still be cool on a motorcycle? I don't know.
I mean, like it requires marginally more coordination than a bicycle, but not that much more. You'll be fine.
Okay. Well, I have fallen on a bicycle, so maybe I should. Oh man. Oh well, here you got your answer. Philip said he has an older sister, so naturally he was mean occasionally, but it's probably her fault. She probably asked for it.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Well, there we go. Senna doesn't need a motorcycle. She's got horses to ride.
That's true.
Oh man. So all right. So you ride motorcycles, and you probably somehow are like writing and reading a book while you're riding your motorcycle too.
Oh, I listen to audiobooks while riding. It's actually the coolest thing, man. Like you go for like a sunset cruise. Yeah. Just go for a sunset cruise to the countryside listening to an audiobook. It's a great
Oh,
thing.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So do you do your motorcycle only when you're going on like a just a ride for fun, or do you ride it to like work and stuff too?
I ride it for work in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, but
probably wouldn't be safe in the winter.
Yeah, no, you'll be slipping and sliding everywhere.
Oh yeah. That would be bad.
Like my wife and I, we just have the one car, and this is like one thing which I'm kind of determined. Like I really don't want to buy a second car. It's just too much cars. Like, I hate sitting in cars personally.
Yeah.
So then like I kind of get around that by riding the bike.
Yeah.
But then come winter, I'm like, oh, okay, now it's kind of tricky because we only have one car.
We only have one car. And then do you both work?
Yeah.
Do you work like the same schedule, pretty much, roughly?
Yeah, I mean, it's
enough where it's hard to only have one car.
Yeah, like we both have hybrid workplaces, so it's like in office sometimes, but yeah, it can get tricky on occasion.
Yeah, I bet, man. What do you do on the days it's tricky? Do like whoever goes in earlier, like the other person drops them off, like, and then how do they get home? How do you figure that out?
It's just life logistics, man. You got to make it work, otherwise she's gonna divorce you. So
yeah, right. Well, I mean, I guess it's like, I have kids and they all go different places at different times, and I figured out none of them can drive, so I guess it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You figure it out.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's cool. Now, what about pets? I haven't heard like a dog or anything bark. Do you have any dogs or cats or fish or hamsters or chinchillas or?
I actually don't, and pets are cool. We don't have them right now. Partially allergies, partially just our living situation, which is not something we're ready for. But I mean, it's always cool to visit friends and play with their pets. So.
Oh, then you don't have to worry about taking care of them, and that's true. That is true.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I've got 2 dogs and 2 cats, and it is a lot of work because my wife and my oldest, they love cats, and then the rest of us love dogs. But somehow I always have to scoop the litter box. My wife's done it like once in 20 years. I don't know how that happens. I'm not even a cat guy, and I'm always scooping the cat litter box.
Yeah. I got kind of lucky because my wife loves cats, but then she found out that she's allergic to them. So I'm like,
and you're like,
I guess we can't have one.
Dang it! You could get one of those terrifying skin cats, the Siamese cats or whatever with no skin, or no, not Siamese cats. What are they called?
The naked cats, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, they look like a turkey, like a raw turkey.
Be nice. That's just the way they are.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry if any naked cats are listening. I take that back.
Yeah.
Oh man. And last, like a couple of years ago, my wife had this great idea that we should get chickens. So I'm like, all right, well, if you want to get chickens, you got to take care of them because I don't want to be stuck taking care of chickens too. We've had them for a couple of years, and guess who takes care of the chickens?
Wow.
This guy, right?
That's so cool. You love chickens.
It is cool. It actually is fun to like take my kids out and have them get the eggs and like, because we ended up having, we had a really tiny little coop we got for free from someone at first, but then it got annoying trying to get stuff in and out. So we had we bought one from like this Amish company that built them and delivered them. So we have like a nice walk-in little coop now. So it's pretty fun.
Damn, that's amazing. Like, do you ever buy eggs, or is it like they lay in?
We do this time of year. We have to buy eggs. It's weird because like they get real if they get finicky and they're like stressed about anything. They don't lay eggs well. We have like 5 chickens, so normally like if things are good they all lay an egg a day. So I mean after a week you got like 35 eggs. So like in the summer I'm like giving eggs to people, but then in the winter because like the change in the temperature, it's too cold, or like one time we had a huge hawk that was hanging around our house watching the chickens, and they were freaking out. They didn't lay an egg for like a week. So it just
Wow.
depends, you know. So then we have to sometimes, but yeah, most of the time we don't. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm so out of it. I did not realize they lay that many eggs.
Yeah, they should. If things are all good, they should lay one a day.
That's
Which at
wild. Yeah.
for that day you think, oh, that's not that many, but like I said, after a week you got 35 eggs, you know. So it's wild. Yeah. Let's see. I was gonna. Oh wait, Cinna said something about the naked cats. Oh, so that's an author, right? Nettie Orokafor has the naked cats.
Yeah,
All the only one I think about is, did you ever watch Friends back in the day? The show Friends.
Yeah.
You remember there was one where Rachel got one of those cats because she thought it'd be so cute, and it was so mean. It was just like scratched her all up and bit everybody, and that's the only naked cat I always think of.
Yeah, I don't remember that episode, but it sounds vaguely familiar. It's been a while.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a good show back in the day. That's like a good like just have on in the background show nowadays. Plus it's on all the time, so it's easy to find it.
Yeah. Although now it just makes me feel jealous because it's like I can't afford a nice place like that.
Oh,
like,
I know. Well, I mean, if you ever like you watch some of these videos, and it's like when people deep dive into these shows, and it's like realistically none of them could either. I mean, Joey was an actor who struggled to find work, so how was he paying for anything? I mean, Chandler supposedly probably made a lot of money, but like Monica was a chef. Most of the time she was looking for work. Rachel was a waitress. Phoebe always just played her guitar in the street for money. Like none of them had money, you know. So it's like, how do they have these nice apartments? I don't know.
It's inconsistent world building. That's what.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, thanks for liking the video, guys. I just saw some comments pop up. Cinna was having trouble liking it, but other people are. So yeah, like the video. I never even think to say that during these things, but
you gotta step it up, man.
I know I suck.
Like, what are you even doing? This is where you put the ad in. Like, okay, now we're going. Thanks to our sponsors.
I know I should say, and here's a word from our sponsor, but then this would happen because we don't have one. That's right. Never mind. We don't have one. Oh yeah. Timothy said studio apartments are like $2,500. That's crazy. I remember my first apartment was a studio apartment, and it was like $400, and I was like, man, this is expensive. It's a lot cheaper than $2,500. But I wasn't in New York City either.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh. And then Jake's here. Oh no, sorry, Philip. That's Philip. He's trying to try some things with likes, but Jake, thanks for being here, dude. Appreciate it. Yes, definitely need to read it, man. You'll love it. Thanks for stepping in from us.
He's such a cool guy.
He's so chill, and his vibe is awesome too.
He's a bodybuilder too, which is awesome. Like, yeah,
I know. He's a beast, man.
It takes some discipline, doing the whole bodybuilding.
For sure. Yeah, it does. I mean, he was on a diet for so long. I'm like, man, that's got to be. I'm sure once he was done, he was probably like, yes, I can eat some carbs and sugar. I'm sure it felt good. And yeah, he gets his like lighting in his back looks so cool. All the purple. Mm-hmm. It's like I if I try to turn my lights down to get these lights to pop more, it's like it gets super grainy and just looks. I look like creepy or something, but his just looks just right.
See, I feel insecure, man, because like we moved into this house pretty recently, and I've been meaning to like get some bookshelves set up back here. But right now, my books are still in boxes, and it's been like this for months. And the reason is because I've been like distracted because we were redoing our basement and making like a home gym down there. So like all the energy's gone to that. And now I'm like taking these videos, I'm doing these chats, and like my background is so lame, and people have literally commented on it. They're like,
they've like, dude, your background sucks. You got those nice plants back there.
That's my wife's work.
Oh, well, come on, man. You need to do something. At least put one book behind you. Come on.
It's so sad, man. Like literally, you can see the corner of a box down there that's got like a bunch of books in there. It's the worst thing.
So you have your books in the video then.
Yeah, I know. I keep them close to me for comfort, but I need to like get them out and display them.
Yes, you do. Do you have like a bookshelf that you brought in the move, or do you need to get a bookshelf first?
I need to get one. That's the biggest hurdle, right? Like, because now I'm like, which one do I get?
Right.
There's like so many different books, right? Different bookshelves.
Yes. Jake had said eating carbs again felt like looking into the eyes of God. I bet, man.
I bet.
Yeah. He makes a good point. You got to get a sweet printout of that cover like Philip has. That is awesome.
Yeah.
You should definitely do that.
I probably should, actually. It's great marketing.
It is. That's true. Yeah, and don't feel bad. I had Timothy on, and yeah, his background is usually launder or something like that. He doesn't worry about his background either, so it's all right.
That's the author life, man. That's we're just like we're hidden away in our laundry room, like typing away while our wives are looking for us. They're like, "Where are you?"
I just gotta get in one more page.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny. So let's see. What else did I want to ask you? Because it's already almost been an hour, man. This is flying by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun chatting.
Okay, why don't you tell me what are you reading these days?
What am I reading? Oh man. All right. Well, right now I'm finishing your book because I'm almost done. So when I finish that, I'm gonna read Demon in White. Have you read Sun Eater yet?
Please don't read that. Here's the thing. Okay. You're not gonna read what book do you consider is one of the best books of all time after reading my book. That's not how it works. First,
yeah, but I already have yours done.
No. I need you to go and read something shite, like something horrible. Like Lasatta's Chat was the worst book they read all year. You read that one, and then you can get the Demon in White whenever. Like, who cares? It'll still be there. Okay.
Oh, I know. But everybody's so positive. Nobody's gonna want to say what the worst book was.
I know that's hard, isn't it? Yeah,
I know.
Man, why are you following up my book with a good one, huh? That's not fair.
Your book is good, man.
All right.
I don't know if that ending hits me crazy. Like I might just have to read book 2 before I read Demon in White. We'll see. I don't know.
Happen. Could happen.
Oh, here we go. Then it says Fourth Wing.
That's it. There's an option.
Yeah, there's an option. I grabbed a few of those like popular romance books. I'm gonna read them in February and do videos on them to be fun for Valentine's Day month. We'll see how that goes.
It's fun to do thematic things, But
oh yeah, it's fun to do that once in a while.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, like I need to get on the Sun Eater train myself. Like I've been putting it off, even though I know like it's probably gonna become one of my favorites based on what everyone's been saying about it. It just sounds like it's so far up my alley that I'm gonna love it. But that's the problem, right? Is like when you know you're gonna love it, and then you're like, I'm gonna save it for the right moment. When like you need a book that you're gonna love. But like that moment's not gonna come, and I end up reading Wind and Truth instead, which I didn't love as much. So
yeah, I know. I can't wait to watch your video on that, man. I was like, ooh, this is spicy.
I think I'm gonna get canceled.
Yep. You're gonna look and everyone's gonna be returning your book to Amazon.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man. Timothy, I would love to do a Fourth Wing buddy read with you. So plan on it in February, my friend. That'll be fun. Oh, let's see. And then after that, then I'm gonna read Way of a Dan from Philip. So I'll probably be reading Demon in White and that at the same time because I can't just read one book at a time. But that's what I got in the pipeline.
Are you gonna like physically read both of them, or are you thinking do one in audio, one in?
I do have audio of. I probably will do some audio of Way of a Dan just because Alan did it, and another booktuber, and I think that would be cool to hear him do it. So I'll probably do both for that. But I think Demon White, I have listened to parts of the first 2 books and on audio, and I like the guy that does them. So I might do both. But we'll see. I prefer like sitting down with a physical book, but sometimes, man, like just with life, it's just if you want to get that reading done, sometimes you just got to get the audio in there when you can, when you're busy.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, and the thing is, like, I will say for The Way of a Dan, like Alan's audio is exceptional. Like it was so cool to like hear this guy. I've been watching Alan for quite a while.
Yeah,
like he has no idea who I am, but I just think he's like the coolest guy ever. Yeah. And like he just brings it to life in such a like vivid way. So now I've started on book 2, and like I'm hearing Alan's voices in my head, and it's like, this is it,
nice. That's awesome.
He did a great job.
Heck yeah. I definitely will be listening to that because I want to hear it for sure. And I think, and then in January, the beginning of January, I'm going to start Robin Hobb. I'm going to start Assassin's Apprentice. So that's the next 3 things I got
Now
coming.
you're talking. Now you're
Yeah.
talking my language.
Oh man, I've wanted to read those books for so long, and I'm like, why do I keep waiting? I'm just gonna do it. Just got to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you gotta jump into. So I'll jump into Sun Eater, you jump into Robin Hobb. It'll be
Yes,
a
I
good
like
time.
it. All
Right.
right, I like it. I like it. Now, have you read all the Realm of the Underlings? Underlings?
Yeah, Elderlings, yeah.
Elderlings. That's why I'm not underlings. I'm like that doesn't.
Yeah. No, I've read the whole thing.
Okay.
I love
Did
the
you
whole
take it
thing.
in breaks, or did you read them like straight through?
I took some breaks. Like I usually read a trilogy at a time. Usually what I end up doing is
Yeah.
I have two trilogies going at the same time, and I
Mhm.
just like alternate books. I'll read like book one of this trilogy, book one of that trilogy, book
Yeah.
two of this trilogy. Book.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I kind of like. I don't know why. For some reason, I like doing that.
That's kind of like the booktuber way.
Is
It's
it?
like how people, a lot of big booktubers set it up their TBR that way, so they can kind of come back to a series, but they're not just reading one thing for too long, because then people might get sick of that one thing, so they stagger it. So you already got the system down. You're on your way.
I know I should actually like try making some videos or something, right?
Yeah. Well, let's see how this Wind and Truth video goes. Hey, it'll worst case is people hate it, but it gets a lot of attention on your channels and on your books. So don't they say
there's no such thing as bad press kind of thing?
Yeah, like bad press is still good press, right? Gets eyes on things.
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's risky because like if you criticize a popular book, then you might get some random fans who just go and like give you bad ratings and stuff for no reason. So it's always kind of risky as an author. But I finished the book and I was feeling impulsive and I was like, let's just do this.
I think that's good, because I think sometimes it's too easy to just be super positive, even if you aren't super positive on something. So I think it's good to be honest. I think it's, especially when a book's newer and people are getting, when a book's that long too, like it's good for people to get all perspectives.
Yeah, I think it's healthy for the booktube community to have a wide range of opinions, as long as like you're respectful, right? Like, that's the
that's the biggest thing. Yeah. You don't want to just be a jerk. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think mostly everyone is, so that's fine.
Yeah. So, have you read any Janny Wirtz?
No, so I was planning to do it in January.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Were you gonna go for the big series or one of the standalones?
Yeah, I'm gonna do, because I actually started in October. Where's it at? I think it's right here. I started Curse of the Mist Wraith, this bad boy right here. I started in October in a buddy read, but then it was in a Discord, but then a couple of people got sick and had some health stuff going, so we kind of put a pin in it. And then I'm like, I'll just wait till January when everybody else kind of starts on BookTube starts reading them. Yeah. But I did get the prequel short story or novella, so I'm gonna try to read that before I start that, just to. But I got like 10 chapters in, and it was really good. So excited to pick it back up. Yeah, but then I'll probably just spread those out. I won't read them straight through, because they're big books, and then there's so many different things that I want to get into.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think those ones you gotta take your time with them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I was thinking, like, I think I might start with To Ride Hell's Chasm.
Oh yeah, I have that actually. Yeah, I did want to read that first, so maybe I'll do that too. I don't know. Yeah, I do. I've heard that one's really good, and it's a standalone. So yeah, that's cool.
There's options.
Yeah, there definitely is. I agree.
So if I put you on the spot, what's your favorite read of the year so far?
Ooh, my favorite read of the year. Well, that's actually an easy one for me, because at the very beginning of the year, in last January, which was just January, because I wasn't reading anything by Janny Wirtz, I read this bad boy.
Yes.
So that was my favorite read of the year, just because that's my favorite author, favorite. So and I loved the way it wrapped up. I mean, it was crushing, but I did love the way he wrapped everything up, and he left some threads open so that he could return to that eventually. But
the way it's like a pretty open-ended ending where I was like,
I know, I'm like,
I want more books, Joe.
Yeah, because I wondered if it was going to be completely final, but he didn't. So I'm like, good. He left the door open. So that was good.
So personally, I love The Wisdom of Crowds, but I think I like The Trouble with Peace even more. I don't know if you felt that way.
I did. I've said, like, when I did a ranking of the first Law books when I first started book 2 back in June. I had Wisdom Crowds first, but over time now, I think I did like Troubled Peace more. I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
It sat with me longer, and I'm like, because I always just think like when I read a whole series, I always am just, it was so fresh in my mind. I just thought like, oh, the ending, like that was the best one. But then when I went back and thought about it, I'm like, I think I like the one before it better. So yeah, I agree with you. It was very good.
But they're both top notch. So
oh yeah, it's all like 1A through how many letters is 9 letters into the alphabet? I don't know. Like none of them are bad, you know. They're all right there.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite of the standalones? Which I don't think are standalones,
but the heroes, I think.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, but I mean, I love all of them. Like I feel like a lot of people don't like Best Served Cold, and I'm like, why?
Yeah,
it's so good.
I know. I thought it was so good. I am kind of bummed that that's where they chose to start making live action stuff, though. I wish they would have started with the Blade itself, because I don't know, it's going to be hard. There's just so many cool characters they're going to miss out on, and maybe they'll somehow work in reverse. I don't know, but
yeah.
I'm still just excited they're making anything. That's gonna be awesome.
I mean, the nice thing is like at least it's a self-contained story, like Best Served Cold, standalone. You know, like they can, I guess, try it. If it doesn't work, then whatever.
Right? But, yeah, exactly. They can go back. Who's your favorite character out of all of the books?
First one?
Yeah.
Probably
top 2. Or Ursel's mine too. Oh,
yeah,
dude.
This is why we like the same books, man.
Yes. Oh, dude, I love Ursel. Okay, who's your favorite in the first trilogy?
Logan, sure.
Mine too.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you know, like here's the thing, right? It's almost a contrarian part of me where like every other person says like Glokta is the best character of all time. I'm like, come on, give Logan a chance, you know?
yeah. And I mean, I love Glokta. He's awesome. But yeah, Logan's my favorite, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to film some of those early ones, and so maybe they'll have to do like it'd be a sweet like anime or animated movie or something.
I think like Sanderson's work should be an anime.
100%.
I don't know why, like, because he even insists that it should be live action, and I just don't think it's a fit. Like to me,
it's going to be hard.
So much
the
sense
budget
animated.
would be insane, and then to try to make sure it doesn't look like
ridiculous.
Yeah, you know, because there's just so much cool stuff in those books. It'd be hard.
Yeah,
for sure. I agree.
First Law, I could imagine First Law as a movie, like with live action stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Oh man. Red Country was good too. I liked it. For a very specific reason that we both know. I don't want to spoil anything, but I actually had that that twist. I won't say anything about it, but I had that spoiled for me ahead of time on accident. So it kind of sucked. Did you or did you not know going into it?
I didn't know.
How quick did you figure out? I always wonder how quick I would have figured it out.
I think I figured it out pretty quickly.
I feel like he laid the crumbs pretty quick.
Yeah.
If you're reading them close together, you're gonna be like, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
I mean, by the end, it's obvious, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to know by then. Oh gosh, those books are so good, man. I cannot wait for the Devils, dude. We'll have to read around the same time. I'm thinking about trying to find people that are excited about that, and then having us all kind of read it, doing like a channel buddy read, and then like do some videos and talk about it. That'd be fun.
I'm so down.
Yeah. I do want to do start doing some like why you should read videos. So if I do one for First Law, we should do a tag team video together. Talk about why people should read First Law.
Yeah, man. I'd be totally down. I have lots of things, lots of reasons.
I know, right? Or doing just a spoilery chat would be fun to talk about those books.
Yeah. So do you ever find like you're a guy who reads like 1,000 books a year, right? So like you're just burning through the TBR constantly. Like, do you ever have that feeling that, oh, I've read all the good ones? You know, like where am I going to find the next good ones? Or
no, because only because like I had such a lull in reading. Like, first I was dumb when I was young. I got into like when I was really young. What got me into fantasy was the Redwall books. Did you ever hear those?
Oh yeah.
I love those. I got into those, but then like when I read those all through like middle school, high school, and then when I got into late high school into my early 20s, I got into like, have you ever heard of Repairman Jack by F. Paul Wilson?
No.
So it's kind of urban fantasy, and then that got me into Dresden Files. And then I
Okay.
was huge into Dresden Files, and for like a long time, all I read was just those two books when they'd come out every year. Because I went to college and had kids, and like, but I was dumb, and I thought, oh, I love like these long series. I don't want to read a trilogy or something. Like, I don't know. I missed out on so much, and then like the last few years, I really got back into reading, and now I feel like I'm never going to be able to read all the things I want to read.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where I am. But you've read a lot more than me of the fantasy stuff. So do you feel like that way sometimes? Like, oh man, I've read all the big stuff. What am I going to read?
No. No, but so I never feel that way, but I do sometimes feel like I've read the most popular things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like I haven't, like for instance, Sun Eater is very popular and I haven't read it yet,
Yeah.
right? So like there's still a bunch of stuff, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I read Abercrombie, I read Hobb, but now if I'm reading like Philip's book, for instance, there's less discussion on it, right?
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite things is when I finish a book, I love just going on YouTube and like listening to people talk about their experiences with that book.
Yeah.
So like once you like Philip is cool because he's got a lot of discussions for his book.
Oh
that's
yeah,
great.
for sure.
But like if I was reading other people's books, if I read my own books, for instance, like there's not much you can do there, right? And that's like one of those things where people like you, for instance, who invite silly authors like me on and we get to talk about our books, like it's such an awesome thing, right? Like whenever I read an indie book, I love like finding an indie author and just listening to their experiences. So
yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, awesome, man. Well, I mean, once I finish this one and then I read the second one, like, and then once Jake gets on it, it'd be kind of cool for me, Jake, Chance, and Alex to all kind of do a video with you and do some spoiler talks with you about your book and ask you questions about everything. So I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And if you guys do it, make sure I'm there. So again, you're not me.
Yeah, no, that's with you there. But I just remembered what I was going to ask a long time ago and I forgot. I was going to ask you this. So this is a duology, so it's done. Yeah. But your next thing that you're working on, is it going to be connected to this world in the world, just a different story, or is it going to be something totally different?
Yeah. So I've actually just finished a little novella. So it's like a companion novella to the duology. Nice. So that's in this world with these characters. It's set like a few years before, and it's like a cozy grimdark fantasy. That's kind of how I'm seeing
I
it.
Like cozy grimdark. Nice.
Yeah. Because like I wanted, it's like a way of thanking people who actually gave this book a chance. They get a chance to spend a bit more time with these characters in a less intense setting. And so like it's set a few years before. I'm actually really happy with it. Like sometimes I read it and I'm just like think this is so silly and like it's fun. So so that's like with the beta readers right now. So once I get some feedback, I'll get that done, and hopefully like the cover, just saying, I think the cover is going to be pretty cool for it as well.
Nice.
So yeah, that's coming soon. And that's, I think, the goodbye to this world. So like with that novella, I think we can cap off the Book of Estea. Like this series is done. And I've got like all these other ideas buzzing around in my head, and so I think the next thing will be something new for sure.
Sweet, awesome, man. When do you think the novella is going to be out?
So I'm hoping for maybe February.
Okay, very cool.
I'm not trying to be like too restrictive. It's a bit dependent on like when things line up, but hopefully around February. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I'll be snagging that for sure, man. You can count on it. That's awesome.
I appreciate that.
Very cool. All right, well, I should go up. My wife's probably home from work now and mad that I'm not up. She always thinks, because she's like, how long will your thing take? And I always say, it's always about an hour, but I always go way over an hour. And then I can like just sense her like being like, why is he not up here yet?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So thanks for coming on, dude. This was so much fun. I had a blast.
Dude, it was such a great time, man. It's great like getting to talk to you, right? Like I'm watching all these videos. I'm like, Triple B, man, what a badass. Like I want to get to know this guy.
Dude, same, man. I feel the same way about you. So this is awesome. We'll definitely do it more. For now on, anytime when you have a book come out, like when the novella is getting ready to drop, we'll do another video and shout it out, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot, man. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks to everyone in the chat. You guys were awesome. You had a lot of awesome things to contribute. We appreciate it. everybody have a great night. Is there any plugs or anything you wanted to talk about before we go?
No, man, just like happy holidays, everyone, right? Like
I
take it
know.
easy, spend time with your family, like read,
Yep.
like this is it. This is your chance. Like get some more
Yeah.
reading in by the end of the year. Like, come
Right.
on.
Get it in. Get it in. Of
So
course.
have a great one, guys.
Yes. And as soon as I get off here, like always, I need to start doing this before, but I'll link all of Zammar's books down there. I'll have book 1 and book 2 so you guys can check them out. And I'll probably, because do you do signed copies through like your website or anything like that?
I did not think anyone would ever want a
Okay.
signed copy, so I never set that up. But some people have asked me for signed copies, which has been awesome. But like, I just do it on a one-off basis. Like, if you want a signed copy, just send me a message.
All right. So there, I'll put a link to like what do you use the most? Do you use X the most or Instagram?
Yeah,
Or
Twitter
Okay.
or Instagram. Both
Okay.
of them work.
So I'll put links to those and to his booktube channel. If you haven't subscribed to that, you definitely should. Especially you should go check out his new video.
Oh.
Sounds like it's gonna be a fun time. I want to see Spicy Zammar. All right, everybody. Thank you again. Have a great night. Until I see you in the next one. As I always say, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see you guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Take it easy.